Let me start out this video with an important disclaimer. Everyone is going to have a different way of evaluating any piece of art. A rating system is just so I can better express how I personally feel about a particular movie. That doesn't mean you have to agree. I personally think disagreeing about a movie can lead to some really great conversation, just as long as at the end of the day, we can all agree that everyone will see a movie a different way, and that's perfectly fine. That being said, I wanted to make a super short video explaining how I'm going to be evaluating films. To be honest, I thought about not having a rating system at all. The main reason is that my opinions on a given film may change pretty drastically over the years. For example, I've gone back and forth many times on my opinions surrounding Guardians of the Galaxy, and if I put a number or a letter grade on the film at the time, just know that at any given point, it may not entirely reflect how I feel about the film at that point or in the future. Another thing I wanted to mention is that I'll be doing ranking videos and just looking back on films I've reviewed before. So there might be instances where my ratings don't seem to line up exactly with my rankings. For example, I may rank a film that I gave a 9.1 lower than a film I gave a 9. And it probably won't happen often, but it might, and the reason is because the rating system exists primarily for the review. When I'm looking at a film to review it, I want to quantify how I feel about it in a tangible sort of way. But I might not feel about it that way on the whole or in general. For example, I may have given Iron Man an 8.5, which is by no means the highest score that I could give, but I personally just really enjoy the film and have a great time with it. So just know that in a more practical sense, this rating system can and will be fluid. It's just to give you an idea of how I feel about a film at the end of a review. Alright, so that was a lot of me just talking, so here it is. This is my rating system. It's a slightly modified version of the one that I used to use on my website a long time ago. So for the letter grades, we have A- to A+, which is excellent or top notch. Then we have B- to B+, great with some flaws, C- to C+, reasonable, and even enjoyable, but significantly flawed, D- to D+, nothing but flaws, and F, which is a fail, missed the mark entirely. For the numbers, we got 9 to 10, which is excellent, top notch, 8 to 9, very good and great, 7 to 8, good, enjoyable, 6 to 7, fine, or even redeemable, 5 to 6, average or mediocre, 4 to 5, noticeably flawed, 3 to 4, heavily flawed, or even extremely problematic, 2 to 3, generally a mess, and 0 to 2 is just a disaster. Again, let me reiterate that this is just my personal rating system, so just because I give a film a C that you might enjoy, it doesn't mean you should change your opinion at all. The more films that people enjoy, the better. The system looks a lot more complicated than it actually is, so I'll break it down a little bit briefly. You can see that there are some instances where the letters and the numbers line up. For example, near the top and the bottom, they're generally the same. The reason I use both systems is to give the viewer the best idea of how I feel about a given film. The letter grade may show my overall thoughts, and the numbers will probably show my more specific analysis. So if you look at Iron Man, which I just reviewed, I gave it an 8.5 and an A-. The letter grade and the number will not always match up in the traditional sense. If you think about it, a C is considered average and so is a 5 out of 10. But most people consider a C a 70% just because of grading. So just know that they're not always going to line up like that. Anyways, back to Iron Man, let's look at the number first. Since I gave it an 8.5 according to the scale, it says that I think the movie's great, which I really do. I really enjoyed the film. And I gave it an A- for the letter grade, which means I think it's an excellent movie, which I do. So there you go. There's just a super short look at my rating system. I will put a short breakdown in the description of my reviews as well as the link to this video, so if you ever need a refresher of what this means, just look there. What do you think about my system? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Leave a comment and let me know. Be sure to subscribe and leave a like, and check the description to see where else you can find me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.